One of the rabbit trails that we left untraveled in yesterday's sermon had to do with the Holy Spirit. Why doesn't Jesus mention the Holy Spirit by name when he's talking about being in the Father and the Father being in him? Well, it's one of those places where we don't know for sure, but we have a couple of interesting theories that I think are worth considering. So the first comes from my guy, Dale Bruner. And Bruner suggests that it makes some sense that the Spirit would seemingly recede into the background at this point, because the Spirit's focus is to point us toward the work of Jesus and toward the love of the Father. And so if that's true, then as people who have the Spirit dwelling in us, our lives should reflect that same work. Our lives should become all about pointing toward the work of Jesus and the love of the Father and inviting other people to experience that. So that's one idea. Another idea has to do with the idea of glory in this passage. Jesus says that he has given us his glory. And many people have connected the idea of giving glory with the same idea of giving the Spirit. That when he says he gives us his glory, what he's referring to there is that he is going to give us his Spirit, which he then does after his death and resurrection and ascension. And if that's the case, then as people who have the Spirit dwelling in us, what that means is mysteriously, we have God's glory dwelling in us. We somehow share in and get to experience the very glory of God, which is really incredible to think about. So again, this is one of those places where we don't know for sure. But one thing we can say for certain is that Jesus, because of what he did for us, he is inviting us somehow into this fellowship and communion and love of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and that we then are to reflect that love and that glory to the world around us.